Happy Sunday, you guys. It is another Sunday in May, and we are doing pep talks on Sundays. We're doing things just a little bit different. It is my birthday month, and it is Game of Her Own's birthday month. Game of Her Own is turning 1, and I'm not telling you how old I am turning, but I'm excited every Sunday popping into your podcast app and giving you a quick pep talk to help you get ready and go out and crush your week. This week, I want to talk about having those difficult conversations. Whew. I mean, I don't know about you all, but sometimes you get awkward, uncomfortable. There's so much anxiety around having a conversation that you know you need to have. But there's so much fear that comes with finally just doing it. Just ripping off the Band-Aid and going to talk to that person, whether it's a colleague, gosh, this could be friend. This doesn't even have to be work related, but you just know, like, there's just so much fear that comes along with it. You know, it's time to have that difficult conversation when you are talking about it all of the time to other people. Right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you keep, it's not that you're gossiping, and hey, maybe you are. We've all been there. We've all fell the victim to gossiping, but I don't recommend it in the workplace at all. Well, I don't recommend it, period. But at the workplace, especially, I don't recommend it because something happens. And when you're gossiping or talking about stuff, and people always find out, people always hear about it. That's the worst part. Even if you're talking to somebody and you're like, this is confidential, if you start talking about it too much, it just eventually gets in the wrong hands, in the wrong ears, whatever the case may be. But again, you know, it's time to have that conversation when you are talking about it all of the time, or it kind of consumes your thoughts. You know, like you're just like, oh my God, I wish like this would just go away. Like, why do I keep thinking about this? Am I obsessing over it? Is it me? Like, what's wrong with me? It's just that, you know, in your gut, it's the right time. It's the right thing to do, is to have the conversation. The problem is that you are a little bit nervous and uncomfortable and awkward. Right? Like it is what it is. We all have been there. My biggest piece of advice to you is to push through it. I know, right? Like that seems, okay, Jahaan, that's really easy. But I'm telling you, once you do it once, it gets easier every single time. I had to have a conversation with a colleague of mine when I was very, very early in my career. And I really liked this person as a colleague, and he's still a friend to this day. But the things that he was doing at work, I honestly was like, I don't know. Like I was talking about it to other friends. And finally I had, one colleague say to me, you need to talk to him. Like, what are you doing? Like you either talk about it or stop. Like have the conversation. If there's somebody you respect and want to have in your professional life, like then talk to him. Was the best advice I've received, because I finally was like, yes, why am I wasting all of my energy talking about this person to other people? And sometimes we do that to like validate our feelings. Like, am I crazy? Like so-and-so is doing this and it's driving me mad, or they keep, they said this to me in a meeting, or maybe it's something much bigger, right? Whatever it is, right? Like you just have to finally just do it. So back to my example. I took that great advice. I got uncomfortable. Well, let me just say it differently. I got comfortable with being uncomfortable and pulled this person aside. And I was probably sweaty, because when I get super nervous, I get super sweaty, which is really annoying when it comes to my clothing. But I did it. Just pulled that person in the hallway, and I can literally see it. I remember the scene. It was, gosh, this was a long time ago. And I had the conversation, and then that was it. And everything worked out fine. I was worried about things that I couldn't control, right? Those things you have to let go. So I'm talking about, a lot of times we worry about, is this conversation going to go the way I hope it goes? It's like we want to control how others are going to react, or we worry about how others are going to react to what we're going to say. And that we can't do. Like, that's not our job. Don't worry about it. You have to be prepared in your conversation. Say the things that are difficult to say. Just put it out there. I'm telling you right now, they're going to have more respect for you. They might not like it. In my story, the person, I don't know if they liked it. I don't know if they were angry, right, on the inside. They, understood where I was coming from and made some changes, and all is great. And we're talking all is great 20 years later. So you can't control how they're going to react, and you can't worry about it. Because if you spend time worrying about it, you're just having this internal dialogue with yourself. You're not solving anything. You can come up with 10 scenarios of the way they're going to react, but what is that going to do for you? How is that going to help you? The best thing you can do is just be present. Let me even back up one step further. Come prepared. Get the courage to have the conversation. That's step one. If you're meeting with your manager, meeting with somebody, you need to set up a meeting for it, then go ahead and put that on someone's calendar. If you're just going to pull someone aside, put it on your calendar that's when you're going to do that, and hold yourself accountable. If you need help, you can DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I will help hold you accountable. But set that date as to when this is going to happen. Then you want to go in and be super prepared. What are the facts? You want to come in with the facts. What is it that you want to talk about when it comes to this difficult conversation? Make sure you come prepared with that information. That's where you want to spend your energy, not on talking about people behind their back, not on having those conversations to yourself, right? Those one-sided conversations where you pretend, I guess they're two-sided, right? Because you're like having the conversation with yourself, but you're like playing it out and acting it out how it's going to go. But the reality of it is that you don't know. So come prepared with the facts, and then just say it. Rip the Band-Aid off, have the conversation, and then be present. Listen to what they have to say. If you're not really sure where they're coming from, just seek to understand. Ask more questions. Say things like, can you say more? If somebody gets mad and walks away, hey, I've actually done that where I've been in a difficult conversation and I got up and left. That's on me. That was on me. That was also early in my career because I couldn't handle that conversation. I apologized later. I came back and, apologized. I don't recommend doing that. That was with my manager at the time, but I didn't handle it well. She said something and I didn't react well. And then I came back later and had a mature conversation and regretted the walking away. But you have to have the conversation. You have to put yourself out there, push yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm telling you, the regret is worse than the actual conversation. You can easily just hope it goes away and then just finally just stop thinking about it and then stop talking about it. And then you never had the conversation, but the thing that bothers you is still kind of happening. You're always going to know that. Like, I could have taken control of the situation, but I couldn't find the courage to do so. And let me be clear, it does take courage to have difficult conversations. It is okay if you have to psych yourself up. It's okay if you are nervous or afraid of how it's going to go. It's okay if you have the conversation. It wasn't your best game. Listen, we are not meant to be perfect all of the time. It doesn't exist. So you got to let that go. But I'm telling you what you want to do this week. If there is an uncomfortable conversation that you need to have with somebody or a difficult conversation, I want you to push yourself. I want you to dig deep. I want you to find the courage to go have that conversation. I'm telling you, it is a muscle that once you develop it, you are going to be unstoppable. You're going to be able to have these difficult conversations with, now it's going to be like muscle memory. It's just going to come out of you're just going to know exactly what to do when something happens. But the only way you can get there is if you have to start. That is the biggest key. Take one step forward, and this will help you grow into the person that you know and I know you can be. All right, friends, I want you to go out there and crush your week. I hope you have a really good week. I love hearing from you. So if you are going to have a difficult conversation with somebody this week, I want to know. Let me know if you need a little bit of cheerleading as you get the courage to do this. I am here for it. You can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram. This is all in the show notes. If you wanted to talk more and if you needed a strategy, I am here for that also. Head to the show notes and there's links for everything so you can get in touch with me. And if you just want to say hi, you can email me and just say hi. I love hearing from all of you. All right, y'all, go out and crush your week.